No man should ever accept disrespect, manipulation, or emotional poison. Yet so many do, and it's destroying them from the inside out. That's the cold truth most men don't want to hear. You've been conditioned to believe that tolerance is a virtue, that patience is strength, that if you just hold on long enough, things will magically get better. But here's the reality: you are not being noble, you are being drained. The longer you allow toxicity in your life, the weaker you become, not because you are incapable, but because you keep giving your strength away to someone who does deserve it. Every time you excuse bad behavior, every time you brush off a red flag, every time you tell yourself, maybe she'll change, you chip away at your own value. And eventually, you don't even recognize yourself anymore. Look at what happens when a man tolerates what should never be tolerated. His confidence shrinks. His energy gets depleted. His dreams fade into the background while his daily life becomes nothing more than survival, tiptoeing around moods, explaining himself endlessly, trying to fix a situation that can never be fixed. And while he is busy sacrificing himself for someone who thrives on chaos, his own purpose gets buried. That's the high cost of silence, of compliance, of believing that enduring abuse makes you strong. Strength is found in suffering. Strength is found in walking away from what poisons you. The problem is you've been lied to about what love is supposed to look like. You've been fed the idea that struggle means passion, that dysfunction is normal, that emotional games are just part of relationships. Not true. Real connection builds you. It fuels your growth. It gives you peace, not chaos. But when you accept manipulation, disrespect, and toxic control, you are not in a relationship, you are in a trap. And the longer you stay, the tighter the chains get. Here's a harsh truth. The world does feel sorry for the man who stays with a toxic woman. No one respects him for trying. They see him as weak, as spineless, as a man who does value himself. Harsh. Yes, but brutally true. And until you wake up to that reality, you'll keep destroying your own life in the name of false loyalty. Loyalty should never be blind. Loyalty should never mean tolerating poison. Loyalty to someone who devalues you is loyalty at all its self-betrayal. Ask yourself, how much longer are you willing to let your spirit rot in silence? How many more days will you give away to someone who does respect you, someone who feeds on your energy, someone who takes and takes until there's nothing left? Deep down, you already know the answer. You already feel the weight of every moment wasted, every boundary crossed, every ounce of dignity you surrendered just to keep the peace. And if you don't stop now, one day, you look back and realize you did just waste months, you wasted years. This isn't about her. This is about you. It is about what you allow, what you tolerate, what you accept. Because the truth is, toxic people don't destroy strong men. They destroy men who refuse to enforce their standards. They destroy men who put comfort above courage. They destroy men who mistake endurance for strength. You think staying makes you loyal. You think putting up with abuse makes you honorable. It does. It makes you complicit in your own downfall. So here is the raw, unfiltered truth. The moment you accept toxicity, you declare to the world that you don't value yourself. And until you break free, nothing in your life will change. Not your mindset. Not your peace, not your purpose. Everything will stay clouded, drained, suffocated under the weight of what you're allowing. But the second you draw the line, the second you refuse to accept the unacceptable, the second you decide you'd rather walk alone than die slowly with poison in your veins, that is the moment everything shifts. That's the moment your power returns. That's the moment you rise again. You think you are being understanding. You think patience makes you strong. But patience with the wrong person isn't strength. It is weakness disguised as virtue. Every time you bite your tongue when she disrespects you, every time you justify her behavior, every time you tell yourself it is not worth the fight, you are eroding your own foundation as a man. You are teaching her that your boundaries are flexible, that your respect can be bargained with, that your worth is negotiable. And the brutal truth is this: once you teach someone that you will tolerate their disrespect, they will never stop testing how far they can push you. Let's be clear about something. Boundaries are not optional, they are survival. A man without boundaries is a man without a backbone, and a man without a backbone becomes a puppet in the hands of whoever knows how to pull the strings. Toxic women are masters at finding that weakness, exploiting it, and feeding off it. They thrive when you second-guess yourself. They thrive when you keep giving them the benefit of the doubt. They thrive when you put your peace on the line just to keep them from exploding. Every time you choose silence over standards, you are making yourself smaller. Think about it. Respect is built by giving endless chances. Respect is built by refusing to tolerate what insults your soul. When you allow toxic behavior once, you are saying it acceptable. When you allow it twice, you are confirming it as the new standard. And by the third time, it's not just her fault, it's yours, because you've set the precedent that she can get away with it. You might tell yourself that patience will eventually prove your value, but in her eyes, it does. It only proves your weakness. She doesn't admire your endurance. She despises it. She doesn't think, what a strong man for putting up with me. She thinks I can do whatever I want, and he'll never walk away. This is the cruel paradox most men never understand. The more you tolerate, the less you are respected. And the less you are respected, the more toxic the relationship becomes. It's a downward spiral that does stop until you break it. And the only way to break it is by drawing a hard, non-negotiable line. Not with your words, but with your actions, because words mean nothing to someone who feeds on control. The only thing that commands respect is consequence. If she disrespects you and you stay, you rewarded her behavior. If she disrespects you and you walk, you've taught her and yourself that your standards are real. The problem is, most men are afraid of that line, afraid to lose her, afraid to be alone, afraid to start over. But what you should really be afraid of is losing yourself, because that's exactly what happens when you keep choosing patience over self-respect. You lose your confidence. You lose your drive. You lose your edge. You become a shadow of who you once were. And for what? For the temporary comfort of not being alone. For the illusion of companionship. For the approval of someone who doesn't even respect you. That's not love. That's slavery dressed up as commitment. You need to understand this harsh truth. Toxic women do not change because of your patience. They change only when they are forced to face real consequences. And if you're not willing to enforce those consequences, then you are choosing to remain her prisoner. Stop telling yourself that waiting it out will fix things. Stop telling yourself that if you just give it more time, your worth. If she does see your worth now, she never will. If she does respect you now, she never will. And every day you spend waiting for her to become someone she's not is another day you betray yourself. The real strength is not in how much you can endure. The real strength is in knowing what is unacceptable and refusing to tolerate it, no matter how much you want to stay. The man who can walk away from toxicity is stronger than the man who clings to it out of fear. That is the standard you need to live by. Not patience, not understanding, not endurance, but self-respect. Without it, you will never be respected by anyone, least of all by yourself. So stop mistaking silence for strength. Stop mistaking patience for power. Every time you let a toxic woman cross the line, you are shrinking. Every time you tolerate disrespect, you are surrendering your crown. And until you reclaim it, you will always be ruled instead of ruling your own life. The shift happens the moment you stop explaining, stop excusing, and start enforcing. That is the only patience that matters, the patience to wait for the right woman while refusing to waste yourself on the wrong one. The harsh reality is this: some women are not interested in building you, supporting you, or respecting you. They are interested in control. They are interested in power. They are interested in seeing how much they can take before you finally break. These are not women who love you. These are women who feed on you. They drain your energy. They cloud your judgment. They twist your mind until you can even tell what is real anymore. And the most dangerous part, they make you believe that the problem is you. That's how deep the poison runs. A toxic woman does care about your goals, your peace, or your future. She cares about how much she can bend you to her will. If you let her, she will turn your ambition into dust, your strength into weakness, your clarity into confusion. She thrives on manipulation, subtle at first, then aggressive. She chips away at your confidence, one comment at a time, one argument at a time, one guilt trip at a time, until you look in the mirror and barely recognize the man staring back at you. Here is the shocking truth most men refuse to face. Toxicity is not an accident. It's a strategy. These women know exactly what they are doing. They know that if they can destabilize you emotionally, they own you. They know that if they can make you doubt yourself, they can control you. And they know that if they can make you fear losing them, you will hand over your power just to keep them. That's not love, that's warfare. And the battleground is your mind. Think about how many times you twisted yourself into knots trying to keep her happy. Think about how many times you silenced your needs just to avoid another explosion. Think about how many times you sacrificed your peace, your sleep, your focus, all because she demanded it. That's not partnership. That's parasitism. And the longer you allow it, the more it consumes you. Here is what you need to see clearly. Toxic women are not interested in balance. They don't want equality. They don't want harmony. They want dominance. And they will use whatever weapon they can: guilt, shame, manipulation, even affection to get it. They will give you just enough to keep you hooked, then take it all away to remind you who in control. It, not love. It, a cycle. A cycle designed to trap you, to weaken you, to make you dependent on her approval. And if you allow it, you will lose yourself completely. Your passions will fade. Your friendships will dissolve. Your health will suffer. Your focus will disappear because every ounce of your energy will be consumed by her chaos. And when you have nothing left, she won't save you, she won't rebuild you. She'll discard you and move on to the next man who doesn't know his worth. That's how ruthless this pattern is. Here is a brutal realization you need to accept. She does not love you in the way you think. If she loved you, she would to destroy you. If she valued you, she would drain you. If she respected you, she would constantly push your limits to see how much you endure. Love does not look like control. Love does not look like emotional warfare. Love does not look like slow destruction. The truth is, the more you give to a toxic woman, the less she will value it. She doesn't respect sacrifice. She exploits it. She doesn't admire patience. She preys on it. She doesn't see your loyalty as a gift. She sees it as a weakness. And the longer you believe you can win her approval by giving more, the deeper into the trap you fall. Because there is no end to her hunger. She will always want more, and you will never be enough. So you need to wake up. You need to see manipulation for what it is. A weapon designed to strip you of your strength. You need to recognize control for what it is, an illusion that keeps you chained. And you need to admit the truth: if she is feeding off your pain, she is toxic. And no amount of sacrifice will turn poison into love. The moment you accept this, everything changes. Because once you understand that some women are not broken, not confused, not just going through something, but intentionally toxic, you stop trying to fix them, you stop trying to heal them, you stop sacrificing yourself for them. And you finally realize that the only thing you need to fix is your willingness to stay. The harsh reality is simple. Toxic women don't ruin strong men. Strong men ruin themselves by refusing to walk away. That is the truth most will never admit, but the truth you must accept if you ever want to reclaim your life. Ask yourself this: how many years of your life have you wasted explaining yourself, justifying yourself, begging for respect that should have been freely given? Think about the countless nights where you laid awake, replaying arguments in your head, questioning whether you were the problem. Think about the mornings when you woke up with a knot in your chest, already bracing yourself for the chaos, already preparing your words carefully, already shrinking yourself to avoid conflict. That's not love. That's not connection. That's not partnership. That is control. And you've been living under it without even realizing how much it has cost you. You've bent over backwards trying to prove your worth. You've gone silent when you wanted to speak. You've apologized when you did nothing wrong. You've compromised your standards just to keep the peace. And here, as the cruel irony, the more you gave, the less you were respected. The more you tolerated, the less you were valued. The more you tried to show loyalty, the more you were taken for granted. That, as the cycle of toxicity, every sacrifice you make isn't seen as love, it's seen as weakness. Look closely at what has really been happening. You've been conditioned to think you are never enough. No matter what you do, it's criticized. No matter how much you give, it's dismissed. No matter how hard you try, it's never acknowledged. You start to believe the lie that you the problem. But here is the truth: you were never the problem. The problem is that you allowed someone else to set the terms of your worth. And once you gave her that power, she used it to keep you under her control. The most dangerous part of being with a toxic woman is not the arguments, not the manipulation, not even the constant drama. It's the way she rewires your mind. She makes you question your own reality. She makes you doubt your own judgment. She makes you feel guilty for having boundaries, for having needs, for wanting respect. She turns you into a man who second-guesses everything, who walks on eggshells, who feels small in his own life. That's how she wins. Not by shouting louder, not by fighting harder, but by making you fight yourself. Think about the energy you've wasted. Every text you overanalyzed, every conversation you rehearsed in your head, every apology you gave for things you did to even do. That's energy that should have been invested in your purpose, in your health, in your vision for your life. Instead, it was consumed by her chaos. She robbed you of focus. She robbed you of peace. She robbed you of time you will never get back. And here, as the most brutal part, she knew what she was doing. Toxic people always do. They know how to twist words to make you look guilty. They know how to flip the script to make you doubt yourself. They know how to push you to the edge, then play the victim when you finally react. It's a cycle designed to break you down piece by piece until you don't even know who you are anymore. Ask yourself honestly, how much longer can you live like this? How many more years can you spend shrinking, apologizing, explaining, defending yourself to someone who does to even respect you? How much more of your life are you willing to sacrifice to someone who feeds off your pain? You already know the answer. Deep down, you feel it. You feel the exhaustion in your bones. You feel the emptiness in your chest. You feel the quiet voice inside you screaming, "This isn't love. This is destruction." It's time to stop lying to yourself. Stop pretending that things will get better if you just try harder. Stop telling yourself that patience will fix what is broken. Stop excusing what can to be excused. If she wanted to respect you, she would have by now. If she wanted to value you, she would have by now. If she wanted to build with you, she would have by now. The fact that you were still questioning it is the answer. You don't need another year of disrespect to confirm what you already know. You don't need another sleepless night to prove that this is draining your soul. You don't need another fight, another argument, another guilt trip to realize you are living in a prison you built by tolerating the intolerable. The only way out is to stop begging for respect and start demanding it by refusing to stay where it does to exist. Respect is something you should ever have to beg for. Respect is the foundation. Without it, there is nothing. And if you continue to trade your peace for her approval, you will never live as the man you were meant to be. Here is a brutal truth you can keep avoiding. If she constantly tests your boundaries, she does to respect you. If she drains your energy instead of building you up, she does to value you. And if you choose to stay, knowing this, then you were the one destroying your own life, not her you. Because at some point the responsibility shifts. At first, maybe you didn't see the red flags. Maybe you thought things would change. Maybe you told yourself it was just a rough patch, but once the pattern becomes clear, once you know exactly what you are dealing with, staying is no longer her fault. It's yours. Boundaries are the measure of self-respect. They are the line that says, this is who I am, this is what I tolerate, and this is what I will never allow. When a woman crosses those lines over and over again, she is sending you a clear message. Your standards mean nothing to her, and when you allow it, you are sending an even louder message back. You don't value your own standards either. You can't expect anyone to take you seriously if you want to even take yourself seriously. Here's where most men go wrong. They confuse endurance with strength. They think putting up with endless disrespect makes them tough. They think tolerating emotional abuse makes them noble. They think sticking around, no matter how bad it gets, is proof of loyalty. It's not. Endurance does to make you strong. It makes you weak if what you enduring is poison. Loyalty is about suffering it, as about reciprocity. If she does to respect you, then your loyalty to her is nothing but self-betrayal. Think about it. Every time she crosses the line and you let it slide, you are teaching her that your words are empty. You are teaching her that she can push as far as she wants without consequence. You are teaching her that no matter how much she disrespects you, you'll always be there. And once she believes that, it's over. You've given her complete control, and you've lost all leverage. You can talk about standards all you want, but if you don't enforce them, you don't have standards, you have wishes. And here is the cold truth. Toxic women are not impressed by your patience. They are not moved by your sacrifice. They are not softened by your loyalty. they are emboldened by it. The more you give, the more they take. The more you stay, the more they push. The more you tolerate, the less they respect you. You think you are buying love with your suffering, but all you are buying is contempt. And the longer you stay, the more she will despise you, not because of who you are, but because of what you allow. You need to stop pretending she's the only one at fault. Yes, her behavior is toxic. Yes, her manipulation is destructive. But you are the one choosing to remain in it. You are the one allowing your boundaries to be trampled. You are the one sacrificing your peace, your energy, and your self-respect for someone who has shown you repeatedly that she does value you. And if you keep staying, it's not her ruining your life, it's you. That's the raw, unfiltered truth. Every man reaches a point where he has to decide, am I going to keep lying to myself, or am I going to face reality? Because once you admit the truth, once you acknowledge that staying is your choice, then you have no excuse. You can no longer hide behind her behavior. You can no longer blame her manipulation. The mirror is staring back at you and asking one simple question. Why are you still here? The moment you stop making excuses for her, the moment you stop justifying your suffering, the moment you stop pretending this is love, that is the moment you reclaim your power. That's the moment you stop being a victim and start being a man with standards. But until then, you are complicit in your own destruction. Every day you stay is another day you are telling the world and yourself that you don't deserve better. Here is the harshest reality of all. Toxic women will never respect the man who refuses to respect himself. They will use him, drain him, and discard him without a second thought. And he'll be left wondering why it happened when the answer was in front of him the entire time. It happened because he allowed it. It happened because he tolerated it. It happened because he betrayed himself. If you truly want respect, if you truly want peace, if you truly want to live out the man you are meant to be, then you have to stop accepting what destroys you. You have to stop letting her actions define your worth. You have to draw the line, and this time you have to mean it. Stop believing that staying makes you loyal. Stop believing that endurance makes you a real man. Those are lies you've been conditioned to accept. Lies that keep you trapped in a cycle that benefits everyone but you. Loyalty is not measured by how much pain you can tolerate. Respect is not built by silently absorbing abuse. And endurance in the face of toxicity is not strength, it's self-sabotage at the highest level. The world has fed you the idea that a man's worth is tied to his ability to endure stress, endure disrespect, endure mistreatment, endure being taken for granted. But what no one tells you is that endurance without boundaries is destruction. It doesn't make you a man, it breaks you into pieces of one. Think about how twisted this belief really is. You've been told that walking away is weakness, that cutting ties makes you a quitter, that refusing to tolerate abuse means you could handle it. But the truth is the opposite. Walking away when something violates your standards is strength. Refusing to allow disrespect is power. Choosing your peace over her chaos is courage. Endurance is only valuable when it leads to growth. Endurance without growth is just suffering, and suffering for the sake of keeping someone who disrespects you is noble, it pathetic. You've been brainwashed into thinking that sacrifice equals love. But what is love if it only exists when you are sacrificing your sanity? What is loyalty if it is one-sided? What is commitment if it demands the destruction of your self-respect? That isn't love. That isn't loyalty. That isn't commitment. That's slavery. And you've been tricked into wearing the chains with pride. You keep telling yourself that real men don't leave. But here's the truth. Real men don't stay where they are disrespected. Real men don't hand over their power to someone who abuses it. Real men don't confuse being a doormat with being strong. Ask yourself honestly, who benefits when you keep enduring? It's not you. It's not your future. It's not your purpose. The only person who benefits from your silence is the one exploiting it. She gets everything: your time, your energy, your effort, while you get nothing but drained. That's not loyalty. That's enslavement. And every day you continue to endure, you are proving that you value her comfort more than your own self-worth. There is another harsh truth most men don't want to face. When you endure toxicity, you don't just lose her respect, you lose your own. Every time you swallow your pride to keep her happy, You chip away at your confidence. Every time you let her cross your boundaries without consequence, you destroy your integrity. Every time you justify her disrespect, you weaken your sense of self. Until eventually, you don't even believe in yourself anymore. You start living small, thinking small, acting small, and the man you were meant to be becomes unrecognizable. Endurance with toxicity is strength, it's cowardice. It's fear disguised as virtue. Fear of being alone. Fear of starting over. Fear of facing the truth that you wasted time on someone who never deserved you. So you call it loyalty. You call it commitment. You call it love. But deep down, you know it's fear. Fear of letting go. Fear of demanding more. Fear of standing alone in your own power. And until you confront that fear, you will keep living in chains while convincing yourself that the chains are a crown. You need to flip the script. Loyalty is earned, not demanded. Respect is mutual, not begged for. Commitment is a two-way street, not a one-way drain. Stop buying into the lie that makes you sacrifice yourself for someone who would, to give up an ounce of comfort for you. Stop believing that staying makes you honorable. It does. Honor is not found in endurance, it's found in standards. Standards that you refuse to compromise. Standards that you enforce, even if it costs you the relationship. Standards that prove you rather stand alone in strength than stay chained in weakness. The truth is simple. The longer you endure, the weaker you become. The weaker you become, the less respect you get. The less respect you get, the more toxic the relationship becomes. It's a spiral that doesn't stop until you decide you've had enough. Until you realize that staying isn't loyalty, it's betrayal. Betrayal of yourself, your future, and the man you were meant to be. The choice is in your hand. You can keep enduring, keep sacrificing, keep destroying yourself in the name of false loyalty. Or you can reclaim your power by finally walking away. That's the difference between a man who lives on his knees and a man who stands on his feet. And you need to decide right now which one you are going to be. You are not supposed to be her punching bag. You are not supposed to be her emotional landfill. You are not supposed to be the man who absorbs endless disrespect just to keep the peace. That's not strength. That's not love. That's not manhood. You were not put here to be someone outlet for rage, insecurity, or control. You were put here to lead, to build, to create, to protect your mind and your energy so you can fulfill your purpose. And every time you let yourself be treated as less than that, you are betraying everything you are meant to be. A man with no standards is not a man, he is a servant. A man without boundaries is not respected, he is used. And the longer you let yourself be used, the deeper the hole you dig for yourself. The truth is harsh but undeniable. You can either be a man who sets the tone for how he is treated, or you can be a man who accepts whatever scraps of respect someone decides to throw his way. There is no middle ground. When you allow yourself to be her punching bag, you are telling her that her emotions matter more than your dignity. When you let her dump her chaos onto you without consequence, you are telling her that your peace is disposable. When you absorb disrespect and call it love, you are lying to yourself and teaching her that your role is to be used, not valued. And once she sees you that way, it doesn't change. Respect once lost is almost impossible to regain. You need to understand something vital. Respect is not given to men who beg for it. Respect is given to men who demand it by refusing to compromise their standard. If you want to be respected, you have to be willing to enforce consequences. If she screams, insults, manipulates, and you stay done, to expect her to change. Why would she? You've shown her there are no consequences. If she belittles you, drains you, uses you, and you continue to show up, you've proven her right. You will tolerate anything. That's not how a man lives. That's how a slave lives. You were not born to be a slave. You were born to stand tall, to walk with pride, to move through life with a sense of certainty about who you are and what you deserve. But you can't do that if you're allowing someone else to dictate your value. You can't live fully if you've turned yourself into someone else. Emotional trash can. You can achieve your potential when all your energy is spent cleaning up someone else's chaos. Here's the brutal truth. Every time you tolerate being treated as less, you kill a part of yourself. You kill your confidence. You kill your drive. You kill your hunger for life. And when enough of those parts die, you end up hollow. You end up numb. You end up a man who no longer believes he has power. And that is exactly what toxic women want. They want you weak. They want you broken. They want you compliant. Because a weak, broken, compliant man is easy to control. But you don't have to live that way. You don't have to accept that role. You can decide right now that your life is not a dumping ground for anyone's toxicity. You can decide that your mind, your peace, your purpose matter more than her drama. You can decide that being alone is better than being disrespected. That solitude is better than slavery. That self-respect is better than empty companionship. Being a man with boundaries is not about arrogance. It's not about domination. It's about self-respect so solid that no one dares to cross it. It's about valuing your life enough to protect it from those who want to consume it. It's about standing tall even if it means standing alone. Because here, as the truth, it is better to walk alone with your standard intact than to walk with someone who destroys them daily. You are not supposed to be her punching bag. You are supposed to be a man who commands respect through his actions, his boundaries, and his refusal to tolerate anything less than what he knows he deserves. And until you decide to live that way, you will continue to live as a shadow of yourself, always wondering why your life feels heavy, drained, and empty. There comes a point where you have to stop pretending that things will magically change. Stop waiting for her to wake up one day and suddenly see your value. Stop telling yourself that if you just give more, sacrifice more, endure more, she'll finally respect you. That day will never come. Respect doesn't grow in the soil of weakness. Admiration doesn't bloom in the shadow of desperation. And love does not survive in the absence of boundaries. The longer you wait, the more you bleed. The more you tolerate, the more you lose. And what you lose is not just time, your spirit, your confidence, your masculinity, your very identity as a man. Toxic women feed on hesitation. They thrive on your silence. They grow stronger every time you let something slide. They know you are scared to walk away. They know you are addicted to their validation. They know you are too invested to cut ties. And that's why they don't change. They don't have to. But here, as the cold truth you've been avoiding, she won't respect you until you're willing to lose her. As long as she knows you, will cling no matter what. You, powerless. As long as she sees that your fear of being alone outweighs your demand for respect, you are trapped. The paradox is this: when you stop needing her, when you stop tolerating her toxicity, when you show her through your actions that your standards are non-negotiable, that when her entire perception of you changes, she either steps up or she gets out. But she will never transform while you keep letting her win. You have to choose yourself, not once, not halfway. Fully, you have to decide that your peace is worth more than her presence. You have to realize that the man you are becoming is worth more than the relationship you are clinging to. You have to internalize the truth that losing her is not the end of your life, it is the beginning of your freedom. The man who fears losing a woman is already lost. The man who is unafraid to walk away is the man who holds all the power. And don't confuse this with bitterness. This is not about hating women. It's not about closing yourself off to love. It's about refusing to let poison stay in your life just because it once came in the form of sweetness. It's about understanding that real love can never exist without respect. And if respect is gone, then so is love. What you holding on to is an illusion, and illusions destroy men who refuse to face reality. The most dangerous thing you can do is stay silent. The most destructive habit you can build is enduring in hopes that time will fix what disrespect has broken. Time does heal toxicity, it amplifies it. Every day you stay is another day you teach her that her behavior is acceptable. Every day you remain is another day you bury yourself deeper into her control. Every day you silence your standards is another day you kill your self-worth. You want to know what freedom feels like? It's the moment you finally say, enough. It's the moment you stop explaining, stop justifying, stop tolerating, and you take action. It's the moment you reclaim your dignity with one choice: walking away. That's when you feel the weight lift. That's when you breathe differently. That's when you realize how heavy you've been carrying her chaos all this time. That when you step into your real strength, not the fake strength of endurance, but the real strength of self-respect. The truth is brutal but liberating. She will never change if you keep accepting her toxicity. You are the one who must change. You are the one who must decide. You are the one who must choose your dignity over her drama, your peace over her poison, your life over her control. Because if you don't, she wins. And when she wins, you lose everything. So stop waiting. Stop making excuses. Stop hoping for miracles in a desert of disrespect. Choose yourself. Demand respect. And if it's not given, have the courage to walk away. Because the man who cannot walk away is the man who will never be free.